Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to you live from Washington, D.C. tonight, right where history was made. What we witnessed last night in the halls of Congress was revolutionary. President Trump delivered an address that redefined American leadership with determination. He outlined a vision of victory, strength, and renewal that left Democrats stunned. From his declaration that America is back to his commitment to justice for fallen heroes, Trump's speech wasn't just words. It was a declaration that the golden age of America has begun. While Trump offered solutions, Democrats offered nothing but resistance and contempt for the American dream. As we step into 2025, though, one thing is clear. De-dollarization is accelerating. China and BRICS nations are terrified of President Trump, making them determined to reduce dependence on the U.S. dollar. And what's their weapon? It's gold. China is buying gold while deliberately underreporting purchases. This should concern every American. Now, these nations, they recognize gold's value in withstanding economic turmoil. They are preparing for something. But this is not just about foreign powers, it's about protecting your future. In a world where economic influence is shifting, gold stands as your hedge against uncertainty. Noble Gold Investments can help secure your financial future. So there's a link in the description, and you can see it on the screen, nextnewsgold.com. And the number, 877-646-5347. Give them a call or click the link today. Receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins with a qualified account. And we thank Noble Gold Investments for supporting this program and you guys for watching and sharing. All right, let's get into this topic tonight. We are riding shotgun. Who's riding shotgun tonight? We have Mr. Reagan in the house. What's up, man?
Yeah, you know what? What a cool night last night was.
It was cool. And we're gonna go back through some of the moments, but let's take a look at what do we have here in this real quick. Let's just go to this box here. Let's go here. Okay, we're learning how to use the internet tonight. Okay, so here's Secretary Wright. He says, "I signed this morning our second LNG approval permit after Biden's freeze." This is on Fox Business.
And we've been blessed with so much energy. Can these states like Louisiana look to the administration and say, hey, we want extra help. We want to expedite this. We want to supercharge our states?
Absolutely we can, Charles. Look, I am President Trump's authority. I signed this morning our second LNG approval permit after the Biden freeze that shut those down. That's number 2 already. We're 45 days in, and there's more in the pipeline. And most of these are on the Louisiana coast or the Texas coast. We may see them elsewhere as well. But absolutely, Louisiana is a high energy state, both their citizenship and their energy resources, that's been bottled up. The fastest growing energy source on the planet is natural gas, the world's largest producer of it. And somehow we had an administration that thought it was a good idea to block our gas from getting to consumers who need it, allies of ours who need it.
Yeah.
But those days are gone. Those days are gone.
Those days are gone. Thank God. Yeah. Because, I mean, that was all by design, Chris. Yeah. They wanted to strangle this nation. What the hell were they thinking? What was that administration thinking?
Yeah, and the inflation and the the price of regular products. It's a really strange thing, the Biden administration. Their priorities were not helping the American people, improving the lives of average Americans. That was not their priorities. They had a lot of other things they were trying to do. And, when that's true, everything you say to the American people has to be a lie by default, right? And you wonder, why was the Biden administration lying constantly to the American people? It's because their goal was never to help improve the lives of everyday Americans. So you have to lie because that's what America wants you to do. So you have to lie and say that this is really going to benefit you. And people are like, really? What? I don't know. And if that's repeated on MSNBC and NBC and CBS and ABC, a lot of people who are, I would say, not even really far left, they're maybe more moderate in the middle, but they really respect still these news networks, these nightly news shows. They respect them and they think, well, they wouldn't lie to me. And I have friends whose parents are like this, who they watch the nightly news, they say, well, they wouldn't lie to me. And the reality is they would lie to you. That's why Gary's Next News Network exists, to get things out there that you're not going to hear on the mainstream media news shows. And they will lie. They will lie. I mean, they lied about Russian collusion. They lied about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. They lied about that phone call that Trump made to Zelensky ages ago. You remember they got him impeached when he was like, you know,
perfect phone call.
It was, it actually was a perfect phone call. You know, he wasn't trying to get anything out of me. He just said, could you know, if there is this problem with Joe Biden, right, and Hunter and him trying to get, like, you know, money illegally, you know, through this Burisma company, can you maybe find some evidence against Joe Biden, because it would be inappropriate. We've got to figure that out. And they're like, oh, you know, quid pro quo. You remember all that stuff. The mainstream media, they knew that was a lie. They knew all of that was a lie. They knew the laptop was legitimate. They knew all this stuff, and they lied to you. But for some reason, there's a lot of people that are just not that skeptical, and they just buy it. And you know, it's what a relief that we live in.
Well, look at this headline right here. Ralph Norman: Trump gives America a much-needed shot of optimism.
That's exactly what happened last night.
And watching that address, I was actually in the White House watching the address.
Right.
I was in the press room, and I had my earbud and I was watching it on my phone.
Right.
And like, there's other reporters, right? And like when Al Green
it was a crazy moment.
I'm watching it on my phone. I'm sitting in the front row, right? I'm sitting in like the Fox News chair, like where Steve Ducey sits. Mm-hmm. And I had like I was owning the press room. I was like, had all my stuff just like spread out, like whatever. And I'm watching it and I'm going, oh my God. I'm verbalizing this, like, oh my God, holy crap. Like, and I'm like, you know, just being me. And like all these people behind me like are reacting as well. It was pretty remarkable to be in there. Yeah. So we've got this Representative Harshbarger. Trump is reviving the American dream and common sense. That's clearly true. Here is our new EPA chief, Lee Zeldin. There's a lot for us to do in a short amount of time. Let's check this out. This looks like C-SPAN.
President Trump has been leading the charge. There's a lot for us to do in a short amount of time. The American public spoke loud and clear last November. They don't want us to waste any opportunity to address their priorities, the economy, the border, and so much more.
And that's what's being done. Things are being addressed. Here we have, what's this? Woke no longer. Rapid Response 47. In fact, President Trump eliminated discriminatory DEI offices, employees, and practices across the bureaucracy alongside a return to merit-based hiring. It's clearly something that we've needed for a long time. Here we have this. This is a lady points out that millions in Europe welcome and wish their leaders were like President Trump. Let's listen.
Safe, failed European economies. We're shrinking. We're in terminal decline at the moment, and we need to take a leaf out of Trump's book, who is boosting growth with lower taxes, smaller state, deporting illegal immigrants, deporting criminals, all the things any normal state should be doing, but our countries are.
I think she's going to get arrested for saying that in Europe. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, you can't even talk like that in Europe.
No. Yeah, people are getting arrested for the weirdest stuff.
Facebook posts.
Like,
literally.
But it's not even Facebook posts that are like particularly vicious or they're not calling for the death of anybody. It's just like, we should be able to determine whether or not so many illegal Muslim immigrants are coming in or something like that. They go, oh, Muslim immigrants. Muslim, you say? Well, you're going to prison. Just crazy stuff like that. Like pretty simple, straightforward perspectives.
We have one of your favorite hosts, Joy Behar. You love Joy.
You love Joy. Yeah.
Love Joy.
This was great.
Okay, now I haven't seen this. This is Stephen A. Smith planting the View co-host 6 feet under.
Yep.
Oh boy.
This was great. This was great.
And this guy, it's fun to kind of watch. This guy's coming around.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith is coming around. I'm watching him.
Right. He's only been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted gears. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
Well, it's a different definition of a mandate, I guess.
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
Some people didn't
we should continue to do that. Don't continue to do that. Find a new strategy.
It's only been
Okay, speaking of mandates, I'm on a mandate right now with Chris Kohls. Chris, what's going on The View? I mean, that was great.
That was absolutely amazing. Well, it's really weird to see leftists have like some cold water splashed in their face every now and again, right? Because they really do live in their own leftist bubble. I made a video a little while ago about a story, really, about how I ran into a Washington Post political reporter at the inauguration. He was at an inauguration party. He was talking to my friend. I pulled him aside and I said, hey, talk to me, okay? And so we started getting into it, and I started asking him questions. And later on, we learned that he had won a Pulitzer Prize for his reporting on January 6th. When we were talking to him about why is it the leftists are still supporting Kamala, because she's a train wreck, and obviously Trump has good plans for the country, so intelligent leftists should be shifting over to Trump. And he said, his words, he said, it's because Trump is trying to undermine democracy. I said, explain that. So he gave me a couple of points that I easily debunked. And then, of course, he got into the January 6th stuff. And he was saying, oh, no, and I said, well, what, the truth is we don't exactly know who the aggressors were on January 6th because there were a lot of FBI informants.
26, I believe we now know.
Right. But at one point, it was reported by the FBI that they had lost count. There were so many there in the crowd, they had lost count of the exact number. And then I said something about Ray Epps. And this guy goes, oh, Ray Epps, is that the guy with the buffalo horns? And I'm like, and I look at my brother, because my brother was with me. Look at my brother, and we just looked at each other like, how can this guy be a political reporter for the Washington Post and not know who Ray Epps is?
Wow.
And then he says, oh, no, he was the guy.
Well, that just shows you how much they suppressed the Ray Epps story.
Even if they suppress it from the public, the reporter should know who he is. So we got that. He was like, oh, no, maybe it's the guy who kicked his shoes up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Like, no, guy. You have no idea who this is. How can you not know who this is? Please look in. And when I left this guy, I just go, look, you may not believe this, but you live in a bubble. Okay. You live in a leftist bubble. And he had at some point had said that he believed in journalistic ethics. I said, if you truly believe in journalistic ethics, I'm going to ask you right now to start paying a little bit of attention to news stories from conservative news outlets, because you have no idea about any of these stories. And I left him. And I hope that planted the seed of influence in his head. I doubt that it'll change anything, but it's funny to watch these people. It's like a deer caught in the headlights. They don't know what to do when they get told the truth.
Well, here's a clip we've got. Just Jen, the left needs to watch this and take some advice. Yeah. Let's listen. Have you seen this? I haven't seen it.
Tolerance.
Oops.
If there were ever a sign that says, I need to leave the left, it's this one.
I don't know if this is going to get me banned or not, but Donald Trump needs to be fucking shot, guys.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I don't even want to play that. I mean, wow.
Love and if there were...
No, and I showed you a video that I found on TikTok.
On a serious note,
it's the same.
Why are you posting videos like this on the internet? What possesses people to do that? I feel so safe walking around public with people who think like that. But
it's sad. It's really sad how the left. You're going to say about this video?
No, I just showed you when we were setting up today. I showed you a video of another guy. I think it's a woman, black girl.
Oh yeah.
And she's talking about planning on. Okay, this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to set up like a GoFundMe, and we're going to pay whoever does it so much money and all this. And she's talking about, the unspeakable with regard to our president. The man.
Well, I'm sure she's going to get a call or a visit from the
Well, I
Secret
posted on
Service.
X just for that reason.
Did you tag the Secret Service? I hope
No,
you
but
did.
everybody else did. I knew everybody was going to.
The Secret Service just got flooded.
I got people I can send it to if
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
get
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is going to be lowering egg prices. If you're an egg guy, I love my omelets. And egg prices are out of control. But Trump's going to fix that. We got this. 22 hours ago, under President Trump, the highest number of Americans in 2 decades say the nation is headed in the right direction. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
We've got this. Democrats refuse to stand for free speech, 2 genders, ending weaponization, and so much more. They showed America who they really are. President Trump restoring common sense to government. Democrats stay seated in support of high regulations. What's this? Biden administration spent millions creating transgender animals to experiment on. This sounds like something like a Dr. Fauci fetish.
It does.
You know,
what is this rapid response thing that you look at?
it's an X account.
Right.
Like
this seems to be like your favorite feed.
It's because it's directly from the White House.
How interesting.
Official
Okay.
rapid response account.
Hold on,
of
I
the
gotta
Trump
add them.
47.
That's fantastic.
Let's see here. I'll show it to you on the screen.
I love how I'm using up your precious time.
There it is. Rapid response 47. Official response account of the Trump 47 White House supporting POTUS America First agenda and holding the fake news accountable.
Follow
them up.
Love it.
Because that's you can just scroll through it and you can see how much they're posting.
That's amazing. So follow Rapid Response 47 and Mr. Reagan USA on X.
All right, let's keep going here. What's this? Oh, our beloved press secretary, 22 hours ago, before President Trump took office, taxpayer dollars were being poured into things like DEI in Serbia's workplaces. What the hell, dude?
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
And mic drop. She's out. There it is. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on senior Social Security. She brought up the Irish transgender musical.
Yeah.
Babylon Bee did a whole skit. Did you see it?
No.
Oh my goodness, dude! They showed the Doge Boys going into the USAID office, and auditing them.
That's amazing.
And then they're sitting across the table from them. I should show it, but I had to.
And
find
they're getting this information of all these different.
But they're explaining the Irish transgender musical.
You're right. Trying to justify it.
No. They actually start singing Irish limericks about transgender.
Fantastic! I'm gonna have to check.
Oh, dude,
out.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, Babylon Bee is priceless. Okay, 1.7 trillion major investments in U.S. since inauguration day. 600 billion Saudi Arabia, Apple 500 billion, OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank 500 million, TSMC 100 billion. That was a big announcement this week.
Carolyn Levitt's doing a great job. When they first announced her, I was skeptical. I'll tell you why. Because I always felt like, I'm friends with Gorka, right? And you've got a great voice. And I always thought it would be important to have a man with a deep voice explaining exactly what the president is doing every day, because there is something psychological in people's minds. It's not something that I have against women or anything. It's just when you hear a woman speaking, people are more likely to consider it to be like, mom, which people are often rebellious against their mom. But if you hear a man speaking, it's like dad, right? And that's a little bit more scary. So as a psychological effect on the public and on the press, I thought it might be better to have a male press secretary. That was just my thought based on human psychology. However, Carolyn Levitt, phenomenal. She's actually been doing great. Love that woman.
I think she's been doing great. I remember when there was whispers of Alex Jones going to be the secretary.
That was, I don't know if it was whispers. I think that was just people
online
online being crazy. Yeah,
No. I mean, there was talk of it. And
I don't think that was ever
How crazy would that have been? Right?
That would have been wild. That would have been wild.
No, we're still waiting for Alex Jones to be in the new media seat. I'm sure that'll happen at some point. And I want to be in that press room when Alex asked the first question of the press secretary. Well, we want to make sure, is Donald Trump, is he going to make sure the frogs are not turning gay anymore?
Gary, that's a great impression. You should, at some point, you should just do a whole episode as Alex Jones. Get a tinfoil hat and just do the whole thing as Alex.
I love Alex.
That's funny stuff.
Okay, Rapid Response 47. A 13-year-old cancer survivor just made an honorary member of the U.S. Secret Service, fulfilling a lifelong dream, and Democrats refuse to stand for him. I don't know what's wrong with these people, man.
That was actually a magnificent moment. That kid was so cool, and that was so much fun. And Democrats are just such sourpuss, degenerate pricks. You know, like, why are they like that? Why are they like that?
President Trump purged our military of DEI, gender ideology, and other woke initiatives, returned the focus to our core mission of lethality. Here's the headline from Fox. Army recruiting shatters records after President Trump's election win. Because they want to fight for a country they can believe in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We've got this. U.S. Navy currently retiring ships as fast as it builds them, meaning that fleet growth will take a long time. U.S. naval fleet is projected to remain below 300 ships until the late 2030s. Meanwhile, China, what are they doing? They're building up their Navy. Who knows what they're going to do? But remember, behind every blade of grass in America, what is it? You know the story. Okay, President Trump committed to stopping the horrific bloodshed in Ukraine. 1 million are now dead in the Russia-Ukraine war. I just want to see peace there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's bring that war to an end.
Okay. I think we have more in the, okay, we have topic. Here's more on the invitees. This is the moment that Peyton McNabb, who was there, got it. I mean, that's a volleyball.
Yeah,
I mean,
nasty.
I can't believe that occurred.
Yeah.
You know, and now she's got like brain damage from the whole thing.
I mean, sports are dangerous, you know, just generally. People get hurt, but you don't need to make it worse by putting men in women's sports.
Well, I mean, this is volleyball. Like, football or I mean, like we've seen the whole thing with boxing and then the Olympics, that whole debacle. Watching that moment, what the hell?
It's vicious. It's vicious. Yeah, no, there's no reason for that. It's just, you know, it's just virtue signaling from the left. Here's what the left does. They always want a fake victim. They always want to create a fake victim, right? I believe, people are probably going to get mad at me for this, but I believe black people in America are fake victims. I don't think they're really victims. I think people have opportunity in America. I think women in America are fake victims. I don't think there is this massive sexism that I don't think we're racist. I don't think we're sexist in America. I don't think that's true. I don't think we're, what do you call it? Homophobic. I don't think that's true either. The transgender thing,
it's all made up victimhood, and they just capitalize on it.
The problem is people aren't buying it so much anymore. They don't really buy the misogyny. They don't really buy the racism. So they got to come up with a new victim. And the new one they've come up with is the transgenders. And they're like, oh, they were born this way. It's a man born in a woman's body. We've got to protect them. You know what? How about they just act normal? How about they don't join a woman's sport because they feel like a woman? You know, they had to reinvent the term gender in order to pretend that this is a thing. Gender, for whatever it is, as long as the word has existed pretty much, it was this binary idea, men and women, or male, female, right? And applied to human beings, it was exactly the same as biological sex. It's only in the last few years that it's become popular to say, no, it's about how you feel about what you're like and how you'd want to dress and if you want to wear lipstick. So if you want to wear lipstick, you're a woman. If you don't want to wear lipstick, they're a man. That's essentially their definition. It's the dumbest thing ever. Like, there are people out there who think they're the Queen of England.
Chris, you're going to get me demonetized.
Sorry, okay.
For the next 2 years. So my name is Peyton McNabb. I am from Murphy, North Carolina. My senior year of high school, I was permanently injured by a male posing as a woman on the opposing team. He hit me so severely that it knocked me unconscious, and it left me with lifelong effects, stuff that I'm still dealing with today. Partial paralysis, vision impairment, cognitive issues. The list goes on. I mean, it is a brain injury, so it does take more time. Ever since then, I spoke out as soon as I turned 18, and it just blew up overnight. That's pretty much started the next 2 years for me. I've traveled from state to state, speaking up and standing up for girls, and these basic rights that they deserve. I mean, these are so basic, and it's common sense, but we're having to beg and plead and fight for years. There's so many things that have happened to me, and I'm not the only one, but all of that hard work paid off because we finally have an administration that was willing to stand up and hear us and choose to take on this issue for as big as it is.
Yeah, it's long overdue, man.
And she was featured in the it's not really State of the Union, whatever, it's address to Congress.
Yeah, I keep calling it the State of the Union, but it's a joint address to Congress. It's the same. It's got the same feel. So,
right.
I was at the White House and I went to one of the communications people, and I'm like, hey, I want to get into the State of the Union. What can I get in? Can my press pass get me in there? And they're like, no, you had to do this and this. But I'm referring to it as the State of the Union, right. And they're probably like in their head going, no, Franchi, it's not the State of the Union.
No, I think everybody's referring to that because it's quicker than whatever it is. Address to a joint session of Congress.
So here we have this clip. This was cut by Fox, posted by Rapid Response 47. Why did Representative Deb Dingell roll her eyes when President Trump introduced a 13-year-old cancer survivor? Really? Yeah, she rolled her eyes?
The doctors. In 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Well, you just saw there. You see her there on the right with the pink glasses on? That was Michigan Democrat Debbie Dingell. Actually rolling her eyes when President Trump was talking about this.
You know what? Okay, I don't think she was rolling her eyes. I don't think.
But there was this. Okay, she's using rolling the eyes kind of vaguely.
But it looks like she was like crying, like she was wiping a tear.
No, look at the expression on her face. She was just like, give me a break expression.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys in the comments, you guys battle it out. Was she wiping a tear or rolling her eyes? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see it again. I think we can actually,
she's like, psh.
I think we can do the playback speed. We'll do playback speed 25%.
Okay.
Scroll it back just a hair. And we're going to analyze this. We'll do a frame by frame
analysis.
Because I mean, okay, here she is. Okay. Closing the eyes.
Give me a break.
You think that's what she's doing? Or maybe she's like, oh my
this
God.
This is so lame.
Okay, is what's the thing? She's wait, she's touching her ear.
I don't know what she's doing, but she's definitely not. Because the thing is, like, the left always pretends that the right is engaged in something phony, right? Artifice, political theater, right? And we claim the same thing about the left. And a lot of people think, well, there's probably somewhere in the middle. And there's a little bit. But when Trump does something, like when Trump does something artificial, like when do you remember the garbage truck thing where he jumped in a garbage truck?
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. But he does a speech and he says, okay, so we jumped in the garbage truck. We took some pictures. It was like basically like it was like a publicity stunt. And he admits that, right? He like talks about it openly. If Trump does something like the McDonald's thing, right? If you do something that's a publicity stunt.
The McDonald's thing was great too.
It was phenomenal. But he's very open about the fact that he's just doing that as a bit of fun, right? Yeah. For the press. This wasn't just for fun. This wasn't just political theater, right? This was genuine, right? And this woman, I think that look and that attitude is essentially saying this is political theater, this is ridiculous, this is lame. Trump's just trying to get sympathy from his base and everything, and from the American people. And certainly this does provide. It shows that Trump is a sympathetic guy and a good man, but it's not phony. It's not false. This kid really did suffer this way, and he's a great kid, and Trump's trying to help him out. And I think it's a wonderful thing that sometimes you just got to kind of like put your politics aside and go, you know what? Even if this is going to make you look good, Trump, fair enough. That kid's great. Well done finding him and recognizing him here tonight.
Well, I'm glad that he did.
Yeah.
And here's the moment we have where he became a Secret Service agent. Man, this makes me want to like cry.
It was so great.
It was so
this
great. Is beautiful.
When you can just lighten somebody's life up a little bit like that, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah. Here's a clip from Fox. Let's take a look at this.
Both of you. Join us right now on the heels of this very exciting night. That 13-year-old cancer survivor, DJ Daniel, and his dad, Theodis. Good morning to both of you.
Sir, good morning.
So DJ, you're up in the gallery. The president is talking about you, and then you heard what he said, and your eyes got wider. What were you thinking?
I was not expecting that. Nobody even told us, even though that they knew. They didn't even want to tell us.
Well, so what did they tell you about going to this event last night, this joint session, to get you there?
Well, really and truly, I wasn't expecting it to be like that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it was something. And there you were with all the most powerful people in the world. You've got, I know Elon Musk was there and everything else. Dad, let's talk to you a little bit about this. I know ever since your son was diagnosed with brain cancer, as he's gone through his treatment and his surgeries, he has made it a quest to try to be sworn in as an honorary member of law enforcement to as many agencies as possible. How is that going?
Well, I'm his dad, but I realized I became a chauffeur. So
driving him around.
I found him driving him all across the nation and relentlessly and tirelessly get him there. Because the Texas Children is considering his swearing as treatment, so we utilize that. And his brothers are actually his medical support too.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And so he's been sworn in by 909 different agencies. But DJ, last night, you officially became a member of the Secret Service. That's the coolest one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, I know you did talk to the First Lady. You have not spoken.
I gotta say, this kid would probably do a better job in Butler, than what we saw in Butler.
What do you mean?
Well, the assassination of Trump in Butler.
Oh, then the actual Secret Service agents?
Secret
Service,
my gosh,
yeah. Put him in charge.
Put him in charge. I think he'd figure it out quickly.
He'd be like, the roof's not that slanted.
Yeah.
You guys will be fine.
Oh, man, this is a beautiful moment for that kid. I'm so happy.
He's great. He's great. And, he's not particularly prepared for press. He's like, this is the best one. Or he's like, yep. But I think that gives a sense of authenticity to him. I think people are going to love it. I mean, he's a superstar, that kid now.
I mean, we've got all of these. Oh, here's more from him. Let's keep going with DJ Daniel.
Together. But you want to know the craziest part? Because my mom bathes me and my brothers all together. And out of nowhere, I locked up. And then my dad was calling my name. And I started going to the slow thing. And he said, stop playing with me. And I started to act, I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow. And then as soon as he said that, we was speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital. And then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, nah, we gonna have to go in his brain tonight. Ever since then, I had 13 brain surgeries. And that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. They had 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going until my gas tanks run out. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
So I just found this other clip here. Check this out. Look at this. This is him in the Oval Office, man. Oh, man.
What a family. What a good-looking family, huh?
There's one more thing I got for you, a big hug.
Okay, good. Oh, man. That's very nice. Look at that family you got, huh? Very nice. How are you? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. That was a big evening last night, right? Yes, it was. That was a big evening. What a good-looking
So this is just today, then?
Just watching this hug, man. It's just beautiful.
That's cool.
A big hug.
Oh, look at that, man. I'm getting misty over here.
Yeah, he's a cool kid, man. That is a cool kid.
And he's all like uniform,
Yeah.
I love it, man. Holy cow. We've got
Did you hear what was said on MSNBC about this kid?
What did they say?
It was horrible. It was I forget the woman's name, Nicole Wallace. Wallace. And this kid, we all hope and pray this kid lives to 100. We do. We want him to live to 100. And so she says this, and then she says, which is completely nuts. She goes, "But what if he becomes a cop? And then, he has to be at the Capitol when Trump supporters are tearing it down, and then he's one of the police officers who commit suicide because of it. What about that?"
Oh my!
Oh, it was nuts. You're just like, shut up, lady. What are you doing? Jiminy Christmas. Just wish the kid well and move on.
Yeah, seriously. Here's Brett Baer reacting to the State of the Union.
Service has made him the best moment, emotional moment, was DJ, who's battling cancer. He wanted to be a police officer, and during the speech, the president said the Secret Service has made him an agent. Mm-hmm. Even in that moment, the gallery was split. The best moment.
And we got some more. Here's let's see, we have Fox News. POTUS is now the record holder. Longest speech? Really? Was it the longest?
It was. It was pretty long.
This was the longest speech. He is now the record holder for the longest speech to joint session of Congress, beating Bill Clinton. This was the longest.
Wow, really? Longest speech.
Well, that's not really that surprising. Donald Trump can give some dang long speeches, man.
He can definitely. We have more. Congratulations, Jason. This was a cool moment, too, watching this guy's reaction.
Tragically, a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
That's cool.
And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
And look at this. The other kid comes and congratulates him. It's pretty cool. It's great.
Now, there's another moment I want to share with you. I don't know if you saw this yet, but Vice President Vance and Speaker Johnson were caught on a hot mic. Did you see this?
No.
Right before the speech. This is the moment. Mm-hmm. And then Speaker Johnson realizes he's on the mic and puts the mic down.
Oh.
Listen to what they say.
By the way, I think the speech is going to be great, but I don't know how you do this for 90 minutes.
The hardest thing was doing it during Biden, when the speech was
By the way, I think the speech
the hardest thing was during Biden.
Yeah.
Okay. So the transcript, Speaker Johnson, the hardest thing was doing it during Biden when the speech was a stupid campaign speech.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I love these candid moments.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, because you want to get the real perspective. Yeah. The thing is, I've said this for a while now. For most of us, we recognize that what Donald Trump is saying is honest and genuine, and his cabinet and everybody in there really does want to make America better and improve the lives of everyday Americans. But there is a certain percentage of people on the fence, I think, still. And it's weird to think that you're not totally against Trump or totally for Trump. But there is, I would say, somewhere between 5 and 20% of America would support Trump if they thought he was honest. But you talk to a lot of these people in the middle, and they're like, well, he's a con man. He's deceiving everybody. And you know what it is? The moments that you see him in an interview or doing a speech or, at a press conference, these you can kind of understand. They look staged a little bit. They look like, they're prepared, right? Obviously.
It's structured.
It's structured, right? And so they believe that it's inauthentic. But if they could manage to get people to watch the unscripted moments, the raw moments.
Like this one here.
Yeah, just like this is exactly why I'm bringing it up. Because this is so authentic. The candid moments people associate with honesty and truth and reality. That's real. That's the real shit right there. Yeah. That's not they're not trying to present something to people. They're just having a conversation. And in fact, he's trying to lower the microphone so that people don't catch what they're saying. You know what I mean? But it's real. It's real. What they're saying is real. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. And Speaker Johnson did not rip up the.
It's shocking. I know.
Either,
I know.
yeah.
Well, I guess the point of what I was trying to say was, I think if that 5 or 20% of people were to be a fly on the wall and be able to hear what Trump's thoughts really are, talking to private conversations with people in the cabinet, I think they would come around, because I really believe that Trump is trying to make America. I think his vision for America will improve the country, and I don't think people really believe that. I think that they believe that he's trying to improve his business or something. I'm not really sure, but they've got.
Well, they're trying to say like Elon Musk is trying to fleece the government for more money, like the richest guy in the world.
He's the richest man.
Did you hear what he said at CPAC? He's like,
yeah,
I wish I could steal more Social Security because then I could buy nice things.
Then I could finally buy nice things.
Like,
yeah,
really,
it was great.
Give me a break.
He also I was there actually. It was amazing. We all went nuts. Yeah, we all went nuts. There was a point when he said they're saying that Vladimir Putin owns me. That I'm owned by. He goes. Right. He goes, Vladimir Putin can't afford me.
Oh, that was solid gold.
Boom! Dude. Yeah, that was great, man. That was a good Elon moment for sure.
Yeah. So President Trump, he had so many people there, and it's like this one here, when he was reflecting on what happened in Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
America will never forget that day, Chris.
Yeah.
We'll never forget that day. Wow.
Well, the man's a hero. He's going to go down in the history books as a great hero, protecting his family.
Yeah.
And in tragedy, there is something positive, some light, and it's great that he gets to be honored.
Yeah.
So often with his president.
We've got this clip here. Here's a clip from the speech talking about the economy.
Inherited from among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Look at them all sitting down. Yeah. Look at them all sitting there. Like, they don't want America to be affordable. They want us to all suffer. Like, what? Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to make America great again and the economy great again and make people's bank accounts great again? I don't know, man.
It's political theater. You know, they've
really
got to present a show of defiance against Donald Trump because he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
What's weird is that
Orange man bad.
I don't think that narrative is really working anymore.
It's tired. It's old.
It's boring.
Okay, well, hang on. Well, first of all, we saw it for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
And then they continued it for another 4 years during all the attacks on him. It's like, okay, 8 years of that.
Yeah.
How much more can we endure? Another 4 years? Like, I think the American people are so tired of it. They see through it all. And I mean, that's just the truth. But, President Trump's address, it was a battle cry for America's soul. A nation that nearly lost its way has been given new leadership, and the results speak for themselves. $1.7 trillion in new investments, a 95% drop in illegal border crossings, a military returning to its core mission of lethality. This is what winning looks like, and we're just getting started. And if Democrats can't stand for a cancer survivor, and can't applaud for capturing a terrorist who killed 13 American heroes, can't honor a slain officer's widow, do they care about any Americans? Or is their hatred for Trump so profound that they'll disrespect our heroes just to spite him? Tell us what you think in the comments below. And don't forget our exclusive Next News swag in the Next News merch shop. It's linked down below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.